because people are coming in.
Sure.
Just 1 minute only. I think we can start. There are more than 70, so we can start.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's session on managing challenges in our profession today, a Gita perspective. As we navigate the complexities of our careers and personal lives, we often find ourselves confronting obstacles that seem insurmountable, whether they are professional hurdles, ethical dilemmas, or personal conflicts. In such times, we seek guidance, wisdom, and tools that not only help us to manage these challenges, but also to enable us to grow and thrive. Today, let us reflect on how the Gita's wisdom can guide us in overcoming the challenges we currently face in our profession and how we can use it to enrich not only our work life but also our personal growth. Let us embark on this enlightening journey together with open minds and hearts, ready to discover how ancient wisdom can offer practical solutions to contemporary challenges. To begin, let me invite President, Chamber of Tax Consultants, CA Vijay Bhatt, for his remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashita. Hari Om to everyone. Hari Om Swamiji, Mukeshji, Anand Bhathiaji, President, Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, Mihir Bhai Sheth, Chairman of HRD Committee of the Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, Premal Gandhiji, our Chairman of Membership and Public Relations Committee, Ashita Shah, Vice Chairperson, our Vice President, I welcome Jayan Bhai Gokhleji, Zubin Bhai Bilimoria from BCS, Office Bearer, and all the dignitaries, friends on this today's beautiful evening of learning from some points from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I welcome you all to this August evening, and we have none other than Swamiji Shri Swatmananji, who will bless us with some guidance from Gita for professional challenges. I will not take much of the time. Generally, we introduce our chamber or BCS. I'll just quickly have a word and then we straightway start with this session. Established in 1926, chamber is 99 years organization. Next year we are going to have our centenary year celebration, and over the years, like last year we saw BCS had this wonderful Amrit Kal Varsh, 75 years BCS completed, and I've been always telling that chamber 100 years, BCS 75 years make 175 years. So one of that is today is taking place in this shape of that we have this presence of great Swamiji, and who will be also joined by our very learned and dear friend Mukesh Bhai to moderate this session. And we are truly blessed. I'm really blessed. Today, we are discussing that today two families have once again come forward. It's our, like on screen, I'm looking at, extended family life. That's what we are discussing just before start of the session. So friends, this is a wonderful beginning of one of the sessions today under the self-awareness series of the chamber. Chamber is organizing various seminars, webinars, and direct tax course, indirect course, international taxation, and so on and so forth, with RRCs and lot many other things coming up also during the centenary year. We have our Mumbai chapter, Delhi chapter, Pune, Hyderabad, and Bangalore study circle. So friends, now things are online. Corona has taught us lot many things. One of them is this online things. So you can take benefit of any of wherever you feel comfortable and join these study circles. So friends, wherever you feel, you can join chamber as well as BCS. We are all sister organizations together in this fraternity. Looking forward for a wonderful session from Swamiji. And I hand over back proceedings to Ashita. Just one thing, that today we are going to learn this particular very insightful, meaningful session. I'm carrying this Bhagavad Gita with me right now, and I'm looking forward learning from Swamiji. Swamiji, on behalf of both the association and all those present over here, In presence of Gita in my hand, I welcome you heartily, heartily to this beautiful evening to bless us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Vijay sir. Now I request CA Premal Gandhi to please give his address.
Thank you, Ashita. Thank you first to BCS as well as to join in this very lovely program, as already Vijay Bhai has said. And we look forward to this beautiful session on the SAS series, while Chamber does the self-awareness series regularly. But we could have not thought of doing such better program. And to put today's topic to perspective, as Asita has also mentioned, that we are undergoing a lot of challenges in professional life. And I think the genesis of it needs to be, we need to go back to our roots. And that's where probably the Gita could be the best guiding force to give us solutions. I mean, if I can bring in the analogy, it was Krishna Bhagavan who, at that point of time during the war, had said, I was guiding, and I think Swamiji would be the right person. We could not have thought of a better person to guide us through the challenges. Obviously, then really thankful to Mukesh Bhai to be ready to be the moderator for this session, and really look forward for this whole thing session. So thank you to Swamiji, Hari Om, and I would really like to hear more from Swamiji rather than me speaking. So would like to hand it over back to Ashita at the earliest. Thank you, Ashita.
Thank you, sir. Today we are very fortunate to have joint session with our sister organization, Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, under the aegis of its HRD committee. It will be our privilege to have President BCAS, CA Anand Bhatia, sir. I request Anand, sir, to share his views with our audience today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashita. It's a pleasure to co-host this event with the Chamber of Tax Consultant. As you call it, sister organization. Chamber is an elder sister, being 100 years of age, and we are just completing 75 as younger sister, for lack of better analogy. But Swamiji, of course, always a pleasure to have you and listen to you at the BCS platform. We have had the pleasure of getting insights from you earlier as well, Mukesh Bhai, for happily agreeing to moderate this session, office bearers of both organizations. It's such a relevant topic that we are talking about, something that was codified, expressed maybe 5,000 years before. And it is still kind of relevant in terms of solving the current day challenges as we see, wherein our challenges may be completely different. We talk about AI as a challenge, we talk about conflict management as a challenge, we talk about interpersonal relations and technology as a challenge. But Gita, having its utility and usefulness even in today's contemporary challenges, is something that always resonates very close to all of us. As they say, the only truth is the one that lasts. And here we have truth which has lasted more than 5,000 years and in front of us as living wisdom. Swamiji, you would be happy to know that the BCS has published a book called Gita for Professionals, and it is now in its 6th edition. And it is one of the highest selling books for BCS. Just kind of shows the interest and the interest that our community has in terms of understanding the wisdom of Gita. The key learnings, which are very nicely elucidated: performing duties without attachment. All of us as professional think that once you agree for a fee, forget everything and then focus on the work without any attachment. Selfless service, we are in profession and not in business, something that very much resonates with the key learnings. Balancing personal life and work life. Our community is right now going through a metamorphosis of some incidents where we talk about 90-hour week, 70-hour week, and how do we balance that will be very interesting to hear from you, sir. And facing challenges with courage and conviction is what conflict management is all about. Eagerly looking forward to hear from you, sir. And thank you, Ashita, for giving me this opportunity. Once again, welcome everyone for this interesting session, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of learnings and take-homes.
Thank you, sir. Now I take this opportunity to invite Chairman HRD Committee, Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, CA Mihir Sheth, for his address. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
Thank you and Hari Om. There could have not been a better forum and opportunity, and also the subject to really bring out what could be the major challenges today and how to resolve them. And I'm so happy that Chamber and BCS have come together to discuss something which is very relevant. And again, from a person who's so well realized that, it can really change the course of life for everybody. Ideally, everybody looks in his dream world, life without a challenge. But that's not what Gita tells us. The best thing about Gita is that there would be challenges if you have taken the birth, and there are ways to manage these challenges. These challenges could be of different types. There could be a challenge which arises out of a conflict between dharma and adharma, right versus wrong, your professional ethics versus your temptations. But if you have faith in what you are doing, if you have conviction in the truth, as the President BCS very rightly said, that there is only one truth, and that single version of truth would prevail over generations, over centuries. And this is what Gita teaches. And who better person to elucidate that and explain to us than Swamiji? So I would not take much time. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to really come together, and let's commence right away to this great learning and enlightenment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's my privilege to have with Anand is one of the most dynamic leaders of Chinmaya Mission. Currently posted at Chinmaya Mission, South Bombay, he completed the Vedant course from Powai between 98 to 2000. After his graduation in Commerce and Software Engineering, he's been serving in Chinmaya Mission since 2000. He expounds the philosophy of Advait Vedant through talks on the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and other texts of Vedant and Bhakti through camps, meditation retreats, interactive sessions, and discussions for youth and adults. He inspires the youth with dynamic spirituality, encourages them to think and question. Various mediums like theatre plays, tracks, outdoor experiential learning programs, music, etc. are used by him. He has also taken the Youth Empowerment Program, which is a value-based leadership program for youth who want to serve the nation and culture, where the youth were trained for 3 months and youth served the country for 9 months. Several corporates like Piramal, Reliance, Mahindra & Mahindra, Tata Motors, Toyota, PwC, etc. have been addressed by him. He holds weekly discussion groups on the Bhagavad Gita for some of the top industrialists of India. He is also a playwright and has written and directed 2 theoretical performances, Adrishya, Quest for the Unseen. He also has conceptualized and executed the first outdoor Vedantic vision park called Chinmaya Pradeep, based on the life, vision, and work of Swami Chinmayanand. It is one of its kind outdoor park which also exhibits the essence of Hindu culture, Gita, Upanishads in a unique and innovative way. His simplicity, foresight, peaceful nature, and a balanced approach endear him to everyone. With this brief introduction, I welcome Swamiji. Swamiji, welcome to our platform today. We have with us our session moderator, CM Mukesh Trivedi, Managing Committee member of Bombay Chartered Accountants Society for 10 years and also has held office bearer, Joint Secretary and Treasurer respectively. Presently convener of HRD committee and previously has served various committees of BCAS. He has completed certificate course on Certified Information System Audit of ISACA, Internal Audit Studies and Treasury of BCAS, and various courses conducted by Chinmaya International Foundation. At present, he is studying various Upanishads and taken classes for 2 batches for the students on Foundation Vedant course of Chinmaya International Foundation. He is a speaker at WIRC of ICAI, various branches and study circles on various topics. He was also a joint convener of Vile Parla CP Study Circle. He has led discussions as reporter group leader in various RRCs and also has contributed in yearly references published by BCAS. He has special liking and passion for studies, reflection, and sharing with interested persons on the subject of Vedanta and teachings of Bhagavad Gita. With this brief introduction, I welcome Mukesh sir today. And now the floor is open for Mukesh sir and Swamiji to dive us into this beautiful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashita. I will start with the invocation and then we will start. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. With the highest prostrations at the feet of Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, Pranam Swamiji, and also the entire Guru Parampara. First of all, my sincere thanks to Chamber of Tax Consultant and BCS, our sister concerns. Both have nurtured us in our profession. And there we have all been like sort of brothers, family, one family. Another important thing is that 22nd January 2024 was one of the most important date in our life. It was a good because that was the day when Ram Bhagwan's temple was unveiled and it was dedicated to the nation, which was after the 500 years of massive struggle. So today, 22nd January is very incidentally a very beautiful coincidence that we are talking about very important lessons. And for that, we are so fortunate that Swamiji is going to guide us. In last 10 to 12 years, my journey with Swamiji has been, and in fact, it has started like that, that we had conducted one residential retreat of HRD committee at Chinmaya Vibhuti. And one of a very active person just told us that we have our Swamiji who is conducting the corporate workshops. So curiously, myself, Mayur Bhai and Bharat Oza, we three went there and met. And I said that this face looks so familiar. Many places, the posters and all. And that was one of the finest ever residential workshop that we had. And since then, the place Chinmaya Vibhuti, Chinmaya Mission, everything is absorbing me. And I'm getting absorbed a lot inside. And it has been a wonderful time. And one more important point that I would like to add, that Swamiji has written the 3 plays. Third one is Dharma Yodha, and that is also one Swami Vidyaranya regarding that. And that is also another interesting play, very beautifully made, and he has been so inspiring. I will not at the moment speak more. When the questions will start coming, but I would invite Swamiji, sir. Swamiji, kindly share your talk, and we would like to look forward to, and from there, we'll start asking you the questions. Pranam, Swamiji.
Hari Om. Thank you, Mukesh Bhai. Thank you, Ashita. My salutations and pranams to everyone, specifically Vijay Bhai, Anand ji, Mihir ji, Mukesh ji, and the entire Chamber of Tax Consultants, Bombay Chartered Accountant Society. It's wonderful to be here once again. Sometimes, as Mukesh Bhai said, we have had camps, then we have had some sessions, and Mihir Bhai was the president in BCAS, and now today we are here online. The topic is managing challenges in the profession today. So we will begin with a short prayer, because we are talking on the Gita. We will invoke the grace of Shri Krishna, and then we will start. Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam समस्तजन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. It was very nice to see that Vijay Bhai has the Gita with him. And you know, Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji spent 42 years of his life to ensure that the Gita travels from the puja room to the corporate boardrooms, to the colleges, to the schools, to the homes, to the students, to each and every part of the society, so that Gita becomes a manual which we can use for living. Otherwise, we had kept the Gita, do the arti of the Gita, worship the Gita, but we don't live the Gita. So learn the Gita, live the Gita. 42 years Swamiji spent his life, and he would insist that when he would take the Gita classes, he would insist that everybody should have the Gita book with them, because once the book comes into our hands, we open it, we start reading it, we become independent. First point to face any challenges of life is to have that inner strength and to have that inner anchoring. And Gita is that book which will help us to anchor a lot within. If you look at the situation, like Anandji mentioned, Arjun was in that situation. And you know, he was prepared. He was practicing his skills for 12 years. He acquired special weapons, Pashupat Astra, etc. He ensured that, you know, he did not lose time in those 12 years. He was a very successful person. He has single-handedly defeated the Kauravas in the 13th year of exile. He was somebody who was hardworking, very efficient, very skilled, always sharpening his skills. In many ways, he was prepared. Yet, on the day of the war, what happened to him? He completely became emotionally overwhelmed, and he was not able to perform the duty. Though he has prepared for it for more than 12 years, he has also defeated Kauravas in the last year when the exile ended. Yet on that day he collapsed. Why? You know, Puja Gurudev used to say that many times it happens to all of us. So a student is wise in the exam. A student is wise before the exam. The student is wise after the exam. But in the exam, the student is otherwise. One has prepared for so many days and, you know, burned the midnight oil also and done so much. Yet when the question paper comes, one gets nervous sometimes, and then the person gets, you know, forgets the answers of what one knows also. So what happened to Arjun on that day? He got emotionally overwhelmed, no doubt, but one of the things that happened to him was his identity shifted. When identity changes, our purpose also will change, and our actions and life, everything takes a different course then. The shift of identity from a soldier to a grandson, to a student, to a relative. So our identity determines our purpose. What is my identity? Very important it is to be anchored in that identity. First point to face challenges, the Gita perspective is this: to anchor in what is my role, what is my identity here. One, as an individual, I have an independent identity. I'm not going into the spiritual part that you are the soul and the, you know, infinite consciousness, all that. I'm speaking at this level right now that as a human being, I have an independent identity apart from so many other roles that I'm playing. I'm not defined only by the roles I play, which is a very important point to understand when we say balance, when we say balancing work and personal life. Because there is a personal life, because there is a person, there is an individual apart from the professional life, apart from the family life, apart from the social life. I as an individual exist before all these roles have come into play. So I need to have that anchoring in individual who I am, and I have a certain temperament, a certain mindset, certain strengths, weaknesses. Who am I as a person must be very clear. And then comes the identity professionally. So what is my professional capacity? What is my role? What are my duties in that, etc. To Arjun, what happened? That main identity shifted. Professional identity that he is a soldier shifted. The moment that shifted, he got overwhelmed. Today, this anchoring is so important because there are so many challenges all around us. There are temptations, distractions, there is, greed, which can affect us, the lure of more money, more fame, glory, anything can affect us. There's technological challenges, AI is coming into picture, many challenges like that we have. In that, how do I face the challenges? First, I must have the clear anchoring. So if you see the Gita, before the Gita, Arjun was not anchored. What did Bhagwan do? Did he change anything outside? Outside, the challenge remains the same. He did not change any circumstances or situations outside, people outside, nothing. He gave him the right vision, the understanding by which he came back to his anchoring. So that Arjun who had thrown away his bow and arrow, who had fallen at the feet of Shri Krishna, who had left his chariot, who didn't want to fight, who wanted to just run away and be in the forest and live begging alms. That Arjun was rejected, depressed, despondent, transformed by the end of the Gita to become again a dynamic person who went ahead to do his duty, won the war, achieved all glory and success. How did that happen? Because the knowledge that Bhagwan gave anchored Arjun's mind. And that anchoring is that which is most important. Spiritual knowledge is that which will help us to anchor. Otherwise, we will get carried away. Looking at somebody else, comparing with them, we feel lesser, we feel insecure, greed takes over, corruption happens, all that can happen. That's just one method. So many ways are there by which the identity can just shift, anchoring can just go away. And so, first point about facing challenges is this, that I must be very, very anchored. And for that, I must spend some time daily with myself, which today people call as me time. However busy my life may be, I must spend, just like body requires food, sleep, emotions require, mind requires emotions. In the same way, our intellect requires knowledge. And our mind requires ability to become quiet. We need techniques to make the mind quiet. So every day, few minutes where I can study and empower myself through spiritual literature, through self-help books, whatever gives me more clarity about myself, about the roles in life, about the management of this personality, body, mind, intellect, and the techniques. The Gita, every chapter ends with Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. Brahma Vidya is the philosophical aspect, the pure science. Yoga Shastra is the techniques, the applied science. So I must have knowledge and technique, the combination of knowledge and technique on a daily basis, where I spend maybe, Gurudev used to always give this autograph. He would tell, so when people would come to meet him and they would bring the Gita and say, Swamiji, please give a message. So Gurudev would, many times he would autograph saying, 2 verses daily for 1 year, repeat the dose if the symptoms persist. Meaning, every day just read 2 verses of the Gita, read, reflect, think about it. It will not take more than 15-20 minutes. And that is called Brahma Vidya. So, get anchored in spiritual knowledge. And then spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes in making the mind quiet. Maybe the breath observation, maybe the visualization of a form or chanting of a mantra, any technique. There are so many methods given in the Gita of how to quieten this mind. Both these are very important to anchor ourselves. So first aspect is to be clear about I as an individual must grow holistically at the body, mind, intellect level. We have a body to serve, we have a mind with which we feel emotions, we have intellect with which we think. If I as an individual anchor in this identity of mind, I am a unique individual, and I learn to nurture and nourish my equipment, body, mind, intellect, then I am strong to face challenges that come on my way. If I am not strong myself, I am just catching up daily with the routine of life and the tasks that come up from morning to evening. There is so many things to do. Then somewhere one feels hollow, one feels that my day, I don't have a grip on my day. So first aspect is that. Second aspect is challenges are unavoidable. Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananji always said that challenges and problems are supplied to us free of cost. We don't even have to ask. One is not over, other is already waiting. And they will keep coming one by one by one. In life, the choice is not on whether I should act or not act. The choice is always on how to act. So the second aspect that the Gita says to face the challenges is that recognize choice. Don't live by chance, live by choice. Don't live by chance in the sense that somehow face it, deal with it, or run away, or try to escape. No, live by choice. Each moment we have a choice of how to face a challenge, how to face a situation that comes into our life. And a person who recognizes there is a choice, sometimes one feels helpless. But even in that situation, there will be a choice of how do I face that. So recognizing choice gives us that sense of freedom that yes, I can choose. No matter what comes from outside, how to respond is my choice. That is my free will. And that's why Gurudev always said that what you meet in life is fate, but how you meet is free will. Somewhere I read beautifully, the destiny is not in the lines of your hand, but in the grasp of your palm. How do I grasp the present moment and do what I can do? That is what the Gita says. One of my favorite PJs is this. If your father is poor, it is fate. But if your father-in-law is poor, it is your foolishness. So the point is, we have free will every single moment. In the Gita, if you see, in fact in Mahabharata, if you see, Pandavas have been subjected to so many injustices, one by one by one. But they never have victimized themselves because they have the free will. A person who is strong will live as a victor, not as a victim. A victim will always blame because of you, because of you, because of this boss, because of that team member, because of this government, because of those employees, because of those shareholders. I am not able to achieve my goals because of all these different people and their challenges. Now, victim will always do like this. Blame, 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 blame. Victor will say no. No matter what the challenges are, how people respond or what happens outside, how I respond is my free will. My internal mind and climate, I have to check. And then I should respond. That is my free will. A victor always takes charge of one's life, no matter what is the circumstance outside. Gita gives us that empowerment. That yes, there may be AI, there may be economic challenges, there may be social issues, there may be people who are maybe not as motivated and cooperative to me. There may be 100 challenges like that. But how I respond is my free will. And which is why the knowledge of the Gita is so powerful. That it makes us equanimous, makes us detached, gives us that higher way of responding to the challenges. So I have a choice. Now, what are the choices? The Gita says 3 types of choices are there: inactive, reactive, proactive. Oh, Swamiji, these words are there in the Gita? No, these words are not there in the Gita. The words in the Gita are tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, which translates to this. If a challenge comes, I can respond to it in a tamasic way and I can say, I don't want to face it, like what Arjun was doing, escape. Many people don't do the duty when they have to do. They postpone, procrastinate, they try to put it on somebody, they don't want to handle it. That is a inactive way of responding, where one doesn't do what needs to be done. Delegation is a different thing, but sometimes people escape, want to just escape, put it on somebody, right? They don't want to do. It's their duty, but they don't want to do. So escapism. Arjun wanted to do that precisely. Bhagavan says, no. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Do your obligatory duty. So I will come to that. Sattvic way of responding. So inactive is that tamasic way of responding, where one doesn't do. Lazy, procrastinating, careless, not having, following proper standards, somehow do it, chalta hai type of attitude, compromise. That is inactive way, tamasic way. Reactive way is where one is very attached, my way or the highway. Can't work with people, don't know how to be sensitive, don't have that flexibility, very rigid in one's own opinion, in one's own way of working, and very attached to the result. Gita says that also is a way which will deplete our energies. It will even make a person lonely, because ego is the maximum in this state, in this rajasic state, which is the reactive state. And then comes the sattvic way of living. The higher way of living and meeting the challenges is what the Lord says in the Gita in the 3rd chapter. That is a whole chapter on Karma Yoga. So I thought today I will just share a few points from this beautiful 3rd chapter. And there are some of these principles of Karma Yoga. So what is the meaning of Karma Yoga? Karma means action. Yoga means to unite. So Karma Yoga means those actions which unite me, which align my personality, my thinking, feeling, acting, speaking, get aligned to a right purpose. When I act in alignment, that is called Yoga Sthiti. When I think something else, feel something else, talk something else, behave in some other way, then that is called Viyoga, that is disintegration. And one of the secrets of success of all great achievers is there will be alignment. They have value for their goal, they feel for their goal, they act taking all the steps which will lead them to the goal, not take them away from the goal or distract them from the goal. So they're thinking, feeling, acting, and they speak also positively about their goal. So whatever is my goal in life, professionally, personally, spiritually, socially, financially, if I act in alignment, then I'm able to act well. If there is disintegration, like Arjun's situation, intellectually he knows that he has to fight the war, but emotionally he is overwhelmed. And so when emotionally he is overwhelmed, his thinking also, over a period of time, he lost clarity, and then physically he becomes incapacitated, doesn't want to hold his bow, throws it away, etc. So why that happened? Because disintegration will collapse the personality. Today, one of the reasons why people have so much of stress in life is this disintegration, because there is no alignment between thinking, feeling, acting. One thinks something else, but one presents some other face. In the Gita, if you see 1st chapter, Duryodhana is a symbol of disintegration. He is feeling fear, stress, worry from inside. Though he has a larger army, he has many more heroes on his side. Bhishma can't be killed by anybody. Dronacharya can't be defeated by anybody. Kripacharya, Ashwathama are what you call immortals. Karna has a divine Shakti. But with all these people, plus quantity wise much more bigger army, he's still stressed from inside. Why? Because he has been on the adharmic side. And when he goes to his teacher, instead of confessing to his teacher, he speaks about, I don't, he says, you better fight the war properly. He doesn't trust his own teacher. He says, these are your favorite disciples. Please fight the war carefully. He gives a taunt and comes back. That is a symbol of disintegration. Something else inside, something else outside. So in life, we have to be aligned. So in the Gita, Bhagavan gives in this 3rd chapter very beautiful points of how to align our personality. So first thing he says is here in this verse number 8, 3rd chapter, where he says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hi akarmanaha. That Arjun, do your obligatory duty. Action is always greater than inaction. Rather than escaping, face it. Face the challenge, though it is unpleasant. Many times we have to do things which are unpleasant. But it is my duty, I have to do. Again, coming to balancing work and personal life, I know I have to take do some time for exercise, give some time for exercise. I have to do exercise. But if I am not able to do that, eventually my capacity to even be efficient at work will reduce. Body also will finally give in. And which is why that 90-hour week, 72-hour week, etc. is not good at all. There has to be a balance in one's life because we are living not to work. We are working to live. If the whole life is only work, burnout will happen very fast. And we are seeing that happening or not already. Young people in their 30s, in their 40s getting heart attacks and dying. They are struggling with the present load of work. Imagine 90 hours a week. There's nothing else in life after that. So it may be unpleasant in the beginning. I may not like to get up from the bed and go and do my exercise, but I have to do. At professional level, I may have to do something unpleasant, may have to tell something to my team member, may have to tell something to my client when they are going wrong or they have made some mistake. But if it is a duty, I have to do, obligatory duty, I must do. So first point he says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayohi akarmanaha. That Arjun, face your challenges, don't run away from them. It is obligatory duty, just do those obligatory duties. Second, he says that when you do these obligatory duties, do it not only because you must do it as a professional, as your service that you are offering, but if you do it with a higher purpose, to that extent there will be greater satisfaction. I can do it for earning my fees, my salary, or I can do it for profit, or I can do it saying, this is a service I'm offering and I will offer the best service by which this person will benefit in XYZ way. Now I've risen above the money mindedness and I'm focusing more on attitude, service attitude. I'm helping somebody. I'm doing this seva. I'm doing service here. And I will do the best. So I hold myself to a certain standard and don't compromise from that standard. What is given, what is due has to be given, and it can do extra also if required and give the best service. If I say that this is one aspect, still higher vision would be that I am serving Bhagwan through this. This is a role I have as a consultant or as a CA. I am taking care of whatever the accounts, the auditing and all that, and I will do my work to ensure that whatever compliances are to be done, etc. are done. But internally my mindset is that I am serving Bhagwan through this work. That is only internally I have to remember. Externally, whatever is required I should do, I have to do. So Bhagwan says that is what makes that work your sadhana. Then every day, whole time I am doing sadhana. I am connected to Bhagwan. Because Working professionally will get me no doubt some professional accomplishment, some salary, some comforts, conveniences, all that. But if I add this bhav that I am serving Bhagwan through this, in Gita, Bhagwan is telling Arjun that you fight the war, kill the enemies, but do it for dharma and do it dedicating it to Bhagwan. Imagine, our life is not so difficult that we are in such a situation of Arjun. So Gita says dedicate this. So that's why in this ninth one he says Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. You do actions dedicated to the divine. Internally have that bhav. If you do that, then the whole action will not be binding. Mukta sangha samachara. Otherwise, action is binding. Every action will create new desires. And those desires will further make me think, act, create new desires. It's a vicious cycle. And to fulfill those desires, I have to keep on taking birth. How will action be done so that I not only accomplish my professional goals, but I also accomplish my spiritual goal? That I live as a free person. And that is the definition of mukti in the Gita. To be free from stress, worries, tensions, anxieties, to be free from selfishness and ego. How will this happen? So Bhagavan says this. Tadartham karma kauntaya. Tad here means highest. It can be Bhagavan is the highest. Otherwise, one says, I do it for my country, I do it for a particular cause. One can dedicate there also. But if I say that I am doing this as an instrument, I am serving Bhagavan, he put me in this position, I am doing this. And that's what Gita says, moksha is not freedom from action, moksha is freedom in action. How to act free from regret, worries, tension, anxiety. Enjoy the very work. And have the right spiritual attitude that this is my prayer of the divine. Work becomes worship only when it is done with worshipful attitude, which is towards the divine. So that's why he says, Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Third point he says here is, act in the spirit of yajna. Come together and work. None of us are going to be able to work individually, independently, alone. We have to have interdependence. We depend on each other and support each other. Together, everyone achieves more. That's the acronym of team. So in the Gita, when he says yajna spirit, the moment we say yajna, we think only of a rite, ritual, fire ritual, etc. But that is only a symbol. Gita says that when there is a common cause, there is a higher purpose. And everyone comes together to achieve that higher purpose, sinking their differences. In our company, there may be 4 or 5 different departments, teams. Within them, there can be some difference of opinion between people. Sometimes there is likes and dislikes. But how do people come together, sinking their differences for the vision of the company to be achieved, for the vision of, even if we say that we should have a corrupt-free India, whatever the higher vision we have, for that we come together, putting aside our differences, working together in harmony and giving our best, not allowing the prejudices to affect our work. Work, company, vision, cause comes before. Then the person is able to put aside all these, that is called yajna bhavana, and then the results come, they are shared by everyone. So Gita encourages us to come together and work as a team, and this team building and team work, this is a skill we have to cultivate. Many times it is seen that people are individually brilliant, but they can't work with others. And they create so much of confusion and fights, and they don't like, they have strong likes and dislikes. And that will affect the performance, it will affect the work. So how to work in harmony with others? For that, I should love the cause more than my ego. See, in the Gita we find, in Mahabharata we find that Duryodhan comes to, kill the Pandavas in the exile time in the forest. But he misbehaves with some of the Gandharvas and they capture him. Karna is not able to, defend him. They capture him. And Yudhishthir comes to know that, oh, Duryodhana has been captured. So he sends Bhim and Arjun to go and get him released. So they go, they get him released and they bring him to Yudhishthir. And Yudhishthir says, you go. Bhim and Arjun are very disturbed, saying, how can you let him go? He came to kill us. And you told us to get him released. We got him, but you should have given him a punishment. You should have even finished him. Yudhishthir gives a very fantastic reply. He says that first of all, why he sent him, why he sent Arjun and Bhim. He says that as far as Duryodhana is concerned, he thinks it is 100 versus 5. That they are 100 and we are 5. It is 100 versus 5. So it is an internal conflict. So as far as we are concerned, it is his thinking that it is 100 versus 5. But Gandharvas are completely external to us. As far as they are concerned, we are 105. Now Yudhishthir is able to say this. Why? Because for him, the Kuru family is more important. So he doesn't allow his internal strife to be misused by Gandharvas, who are external. Because he has love for the family, because he has love for the whole group, that we are Pandavas, they are Kauravas, we are finally one family. Internally, yes, we have our differences, but nobody from outside should exploit us. These are some very powerful learnings of how to put aside our individual differences and ego and ensure that we come together for a common cause. And that's what Bhagavan says in this 11th shloka here. Parasparam bhavayanta shreya param avapsyatha. Working together, mutually cooperating with each other, attain the highest. By coming together, we put aside likes and dislikes, everybody will benefit. You just think about it, how much the nation can benefit if the petty egos of so many people in power are put aside and they work for the country. They don't do that. Their egos come on the way, put aside main agenda of development, and the whole thing gets sidetracked. So Gita says work with this bhavana of yajna, and for this Gita says love the very work itself. If I love my swadharma, what I am made for, I am doing that work, I love the very work itself. Swadharme nidhanam shreya, 35th verse in this chapter says, Swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. The person who is anchored in swadharma is a person who will be able to succeed, achieve the best. If I just imitate somebody, if I just simply compare and I do something which I am not really made for, then there will be insecurity, jealousy, there will be all kinds of stress, anxieties, etc. Arjun is not made for going and living the life of a sannyasi as a mendicant. If he would have done that, he would have been in deep trouble. Bhagavan says, you stay here, that is your temperament, and do your duty. So, love the very work itself. Gita says, if you love the work for the sake of the work, it will not bind. Duty for the sake of duty. We don't do that. Many times we do it because it should bring name, fame, power, recognition, all that, which at some level is natural. But if I say that only that is the result, then only I will be happy, then there is a lot of stress. And that is what the detachment of Gita is. What is the detachment in Gita? The detachment is not that I should not expect a result. I should expect a result, work hard, but no insistence on the result that without this I am unhappy. My work and worth I am mixing up. Only if I achieve a certain success I am worthy. That is one of the reasons why young people today getting into mental health challenges, drugs, depression, suicide, Because if I don't get a particular percentage, I feel my life is not worth it. If I don't get admission into a particular institute, my life is not worth it. If I don't get a particular, promotion, my life is not worth it. Now, detachment is not that I should not expect any result. I expect a result, work hard, but I don't insist on the result. And lastly, the Gita also says that putting aside 3 leakages of the mind, you work hard. And what are those? If you see in this beautifully in the 30th shloka, Bhagavan says, Nirashihi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. You put aside regrets of the past, anxieties of the future, and tension in the present, and work with full absorption in the here and now. How will that happen? That is a spiritual sadhana, that is anchoring in spiritual knowledge, that I am equanimous before the action, I am equanimous in the action, I am equanimous after the action. That is the whole science of Gita, where it says how to act efficiently, anchored in a certain quietude of the mind, calmness of the mind, so that I can take objective decisions, I can face the challenges that come, because I am here and now. If I am lost in the past or the future, I won't be able to do that. So these are a few beautiful points of the Gita, that how we can apply these teachings of Karma Yoga, how we can balance our personal life, and whatever obstacles come on the way. If my vision is clear why I want this goal, I will have enough motivation to overcome them. And if I know clearly that I as an individual am here, these are different roles I play, and I am here to evolve finally, then no matter what challenges come, I have the inner strength, I have the anchoring within, I am connected to the divine, I am doing sadhana daily, and I will have enough stamina to face the challenges. So this is what I wanted to share with everyone. Mukesh bhai, you can go ahead. Whatever questions are there, we can take up those.
Yeah, Swamiji, that was so beautiful, and particularly, first of all, identifying my individuality and anchoring in it. And along with that, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, and Yagna Bhav, Ishwar Arpan Bhav. All these concepts are beautiful, and I'm sure that entire Gita, even one shlok can take the whole life, and we are trying to encapsulate in 1 hour of conversation something very, very important. So definitely it is not a justice possible, notwithstanding few of the questions which have come up amongst the general sort of tendency of the people, and quite a few nicely, vividly you have touched upon. I'd like to just share first question. Is it possible to conduct our role different, that is professional role, father, son, mentor, without being attached? Because, for example, my son, I have some attachment. For my client, I have the attachment. And along with that, I have certain expectations also with the attachment. So how would you like us to practice? What would be our practice so that at least we can be more and more mature to be detached from the subject, and we perform our duty so well? That was the first point.
Yes, so there is definitely expectation which is there. There is concern also that my son or my client, etc., should do well and they should succeed, etc. So that is natural. That detachment doesn't mean disinterest. Detachment doesn't mean that I don't care. Unko jo hona ho jaye. It is not type of a escapist or indifferent type of an attitude. Detachment is what? When I am able to love. So Swami Chinmayananda used to say beautifully, do the best, leave the rest. That is detachment. If I am able to do the best for my son, for my client, for everybody who is involved, and I know when to back off, then that is the best thing that I can do. Because any attachment if I have, it will land up hurting the concerned, whether it is my son or whether it is the client. You just see the Mahabharata. Every great hero's downfall is because of his attachment. Dronacharya's downfall is because of his attachment to the son. Dhritarashtra could not do the duty as a king because he is attached to his son. As a father, when he is attached, then he can't do duty as a king. So detachment will bring us bring out more efficiency from us. And what is the meaning of that detachment? I do the best for them, keeping their interest in mind. Whatever best I can do, I do. After that, I have to back off. In that situation, if there is something else that I am able to do, if some difficulty is there, then I should still do that. But not everything will go as per my plan, my control. It will not happen. So I learn to accept what life brings and keep doing my best. That is called detachment. So it is possible to be detached in different roles.
Yeah, so one of the participants just said that when we are too good, they take us for granted. But then basically, we are focused on the subject on which we do our best, and automatically the result will come, which is the best possible. And secondly, automatically the powers will work such that such kind of people who are the weak links automatically get away from us also.
What will also happen is when we are good, doesn't mean that we are not alert. Good people are also alert people. Sometimes our connection is good people are not smart and alert. We think good people are dumb people. That's what people also think, and so
Perceive.
goodness also people think that if I am good, I will be taken for a ride. No, if you are good, you are anchored, you are smart, you are alert, then you will be able to identify this is not correct, that is not correct, and assertively give a response. Good people doesn't mean always be goody goody, yes, yes, everything and nice. No, no. One has to be assertive. One has to be assertive.
Right. Swami, could you throw light on selflessness? Because as a person, I have the emotions, I have my own expectations, I have sort of certain feelings and some kind of agenda with which I act as a professional or as a human being. But how do I really mature or grow as a selfless person, or with the overall in my conduct of the profession or as a person also?
See, selflessness in this professional context is to ensure that I give my best to the client who is there, and I ensure that quality standards are maintained. Like in the Gita, Bhagavan says that yadyadacharati shrestha tattadeva itaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate. You set high standards and give the best quality. Don't compromise in that. Selflessness in this context would be that. Sometimes people take the fees, they take the whatever the charges are, but they don't deliver properly.
Right.
Here, if I'm able to do my duty well, I'm able to have good relationships, I'm able to serve effectively, then that is good. That is selflessness. And internally, as we discussed, if I say that this is my seva of Bhagwan, then selflessness automatically will come. The moment I'm able to put aside my ego and see that is this objective decision, I don't take things very personally, I don't feel hurt, then selflessness will come. Suppose I don't like somebody, but now that person has given a valid input which will help to achieve a goal of a company, let us say. Selflessness there would be you put aside the ego and accept that suggestion. Don't take it personally and don't bring the ego into play. So that way I can learn to put aside my ego and let the higher purpose take more importance. Then that is the selflessness that has to come into this place.
One of the person during the time you were talking said that I have read Gita, but it is very difficult to implement or rather practice. But I think very rightly said that 2 shloka per day and reflect over it, try to imbibe over it and continue. And again, if the dose is not sufficiently gone, again repeat the dose. So that is what I would also re-echo that we have to keep on bicycle pedaling or even whitewater rafting. Continuous practice and continuous reflection plus satsang seva and reflections only will be in a position to help us to go higher and higher in our this particular understanding and implementing or adapting to the Gita.
See, what happens also is we focus on difficult parts. Gita has so many things which are written, which we can start simple parts.
Correct.
Gita says increase sattvic diet in your sattvic food. I can start with that. Gita speaks about pranayam. I can start pranayam also. Gita also speaks about how to ensure that our body, mind, intellect are aligned. If I can't do everything in the whole day, in few actions I can do. Gita speaks about spending some time in doing Abhyasa Yoga. Abhyasa Yoga is to make the mind quiet. So I can do mantra japa even for 5-10 minutes. If I start applying what the Gita says, start with what is possible, then what is difficult also will become possible, and then you will start doing even the so-called impossible. If we directly say bahut mushkil hai, that's a mind block possibly, and maybe I'm starting with something which is very subtle. So I have to, if you say the first day of the gym one goes and I want to lift some 200 kilos of dumbbells, how it is possible?
Yeah, that's true. Swamiji, equanimity. Now, point is that I'm preparing for exams, or I'm preparing for my tribunal appeal, or I'm finalizing the balance sheet for my client and auditing and signing. Some kind of anxieties are around that, or some kind of fear are lurking. How I can really be very composed despite of such a challenging situations. So this is a peculiar Arjun disease, what we call it, or a sort of despondency. But how do we try to do, or what kind of practice that we do such that we are in a position to at least gradually grapple the situation, we are in our own control?
See, when challenges are there and pressure is high, timelines, we are rushing to meet certain timelines. If preparation earlier can help, that is one aspect where I have done my homework properly. I have done enough work preparation so that I know, okay, this is the year ending time, or this is the filing returns time, etc. I will have a lot of work. So I take care of certain things beforehand, so the pressure is lesser. If that is possible, great. So Gita always speaks about that you do the work in such a way that it is done in small doses properly, then that is one way. Second way is, if I'm training myself daily to make the mind quiet, that's why that practice daily of doing some sadhana is important. 15 minutes a day I should learn to make the mind quiet. Where the mind wanders, I bring it back, focus. Then in the high pressure situations, I already have trained myself that I will be able to deal with it and be equanimous. And third and most important is my purpose. What is my purpose? If my purpose is very clear, I will be able to handle the pressure also. But if my purpose is not clear and I am not able to manage my personality well, then there will be a lot of disturbance and agitation.
Right.
So I need small doses. Gurudev always said, small doses of daily meditation will help to build up reserves of peace. So if the reserves of peace are built up in the mind, in the pressurizing situations, those reserves will help. Like physically, immunity is strong, exercise one is doing regularly. Then when the COVID and all those things happen, then the body will be able to cope with it better. So it's like that. Everyday sadhana I have to do to build up my reserves of peace and strength. Then the pressure situation I can handle.
Yeah. So alone also, I may not be in a position to conduct myself for the sadhana, or even if it is, so it is sometimes satsang and seva and all will additionally help us to further consolidate our evolution. Regarding Shreyas and Prayas, what is Shreyas and Prayas? We would like to know, because whatever I'm doing from my side, I feel that no, I'm doing it good only. But I should be aware about what is Shreyas and what is Prayas.
So what is Shreyas is what is good, need not necessarily be pleasant, and what is Prayas is pleasant. So I may like to, let us say, keep on listening to only some praises that my colleague should give me or the client should give me. I may keep liking because it's very pleasant. I may not like to take critical feedback. But Shreyas is to take even that critical feedback, then only I can improve.
Grow.
Yeah, like that. So what is good, sometimes things are both good and pleasant also. Sometimes things are good, not necessarily pleasant. Sometimes things are pleasant, not good. And sometimes things are both not pleasant and not good. So I have to identify in my professional life that what do I focus on?
Right.
What is good, not necessarily pleasant. If I focus on that, my growth will happen much more. Good and pleasant is great. And I must also focus on that factor where there is not good, not pleasant, but it is good for me. Like exercise I want to do, it's not very pleasant, but I must do it.
Because I'm talking more from the professional perspective that sometimes a very attractive offers comes as a sort of for lucrative offers and all. But deep down, my conscience says that this is not the sort of ethical thing that I'm doing it in all. So in that case, this kind of clarity may help me to look at it whether it is shares or prayers. And if I'm more and more anchored, I will be in a position to be towards the shares. Now, Sabiji, one most important word which has been in our, particularly for a long time, dharma, the word dharma, has been highly misunderstood. It is confined, even the young children, when we are trying to talk, either they will think of the rituals or they are thinking of a sort of philosophy or something, or dharma is something not a sort of very clearly understood, because of which when I'm not in a position to understand the dharma and the swadharma, there is a chance that major confusion starts. So kindly throw the light on dharma and swadharma.
Dharma in professional context is the duties that I must do, anchoring in values. Literally, the word dharma is dharana dharma, that which upholds, unites, integrates, and that which ensures that we don't fall. That is called dharma, which helps us to maintain a certain human dignity and make the best of this human life and the mind that I have. That is called dharma. It is not only religious practices. It is doing duties anchored in values and living a life of integration. And so that is dharma. And if that's what Arjun is doing, no? Arjun is doing his duty, though it is unpleasant, and is doing it for the right purpose to protect dharma. And hence, what made him follow that? All those principles are dharma, the values, the higher vision, etc. That is all dharma. And swadharma is to identify what I'm really made for. Whether I'm made for this profession or not, do I have that mental temperament or not? What is somebody is skilled in music, somebody is in sports, somebody is for, army, somebody is for teacher, somebody is for this profession of, accountants, etc. So each one has a certain temperament. To identify what I'm really made for, and is this work close to my heart? Do I feel satisfied in doing this work? Am I contributing my best to the society? Am I feeling absorbed in it? At the end of the day, I feel I've done, justice to the work that I had to do. Then all that is the swadharma. And both these should align. My swadharma I should do anchoring in values.
Okay, right. So many a times even somebody feels that though I'm chartered on, but I'm not enjoying, or I am really better in something else, and somewhere such kind of regrets, etc., continue. But I must identify myself that what I'm really naturally made for, and if required, we need to have the right kind of counseling also, that how I can try to really identify my swadharma also. Yeah.
Few of the questions have come here.
Yeah.
Chat also.
Yeah, we can take them first. Sure.
Yeah.
With every other government official seeking favor, survival of a profession in practice looking to follow dharma is not feasible. Hence, should one stop practice, follow dharma, and sit idle and be content?
See, these are all questions that will go into extremes. We don't have to do that. Every government official seeking favors, if we want to, take that path, then okay, these are extremes. Okay, either keep on giving all the bribes or just sit idle. Obviously, both are not going to be possible. Somewhere or the other, this path, if I keep satisfying, that greed is going to keep increasing only. So I have to choose. If there is a possibility of doing work in such a way that I am able to follow the path of dharma without doing all this, whatever the seeking favors is, then choose that middle path where I can. Because sitting idle, anyway, Gita says, karma jayo hya karmana. But, and if required to shift the trajectory of the career, if that is the bigger aspect, if I am focusing on, okay, I want to live a dharmic life, if really that is a question in the mind, then find ways and means, and then be satisfied with whatever is the way of life. That contentment one should have. Otherwise, one can just say that, okay, everybody is seeking this favors, and we have to do, it's a natural way of life today. Okay, then if that's the way, then deal with the result also that comes. Then be ready for the consequences.
Yeah.
And are there not methods today by which so many ways corruption is stopped by whatever the online methods and digitization and all that? So we have to keep finding ways to counter it. And yes, human being is still capable of finding new loopholes to find corruption. But that's where the need of values comes in. Now, this actually shows the need of values.
Correct.
Because if one keeps on doing this, the society we are creating is a hollow society which doesn't value values. It values valuables more than values. And then that's where the all kinds of stress, anxiety, worry is going to increase. So there will be a struggle, and that is a way of life. If I'm really interested in that, then even today it is possible to live in a dharmic way where I am able to live within a certain means.
Yes, Swamiji, I can very much supplement this because in my personal life also, many a times I encounter the situations, but becoming assertive with the utmost courtesy, but at the same time remaining in the values and anchoring in the values gives us no confusion, and we are very much happy with it, and there is no sort of confusion whatsoever, and we are in a position to cross over very easily. It's a beginning. One has to start and one has to really practice it. And when the clarity of the larger purpose is very clear, it becomes very easier for us to really be there. In real life, when you often see what a person says is not in line with his action, and they also justify the ultimate action, should we dissociate with such people or correct them?
So it depends on what is your duty. Now, if it is a part of your duty, then one should attempt to correct. If it is not and you want to dissociate, definitely you can. And if it is a part of the duty, and even after saying, if you are not able to, if that person is not able to change and you want to disassociate, you can disassociate. In the Mahabharata, the clear example is there. Just before the war begins, a call is given that if anybody wants to switch sides, they can switch. And Yuyutsu from Kaurava side walks up to the Pandava side saying, I don't want to support this adharmic activity. He tried to convince them, but they didn't listen. So finally he came on this side. So it is up to us. All the three possibilities are there.
Yeah. Now comes the stress. The root cause of the stress is what? And whether it is practice, whether my family, whether relations, or myself. What are the root cause because of which I am yielding to the stress?
See, the main cause of stress is what we discussed, the lack of inner alignment of body, mind, intellect. The inner strength is not there. That's why a person is attached to various other things. Then I need praise, I need money, I need recognition, I need many things to feel happy. And if I'm not getting those, I feel stressed out. Or I may be getting those, but the situations are such, external time pressures and work is not getting done, etc. Then that will create many causes, many anxieties. But the main purpose, like you asked, the root cause is lack of inner alignment. Where I'm not able to ensure that my body, mind, intellect are nurtured, nourished sufficiently to be strong.
Okay, right. And one important question, because most of us, up to a certain time, for example, that since last 10 years when I am in this learning of Vedanta and all, I could get the idea, but for the benefit of my professional brothers and all, what is the purpose of life versus purpose of profession we are most confused about. And because of it, sometimes this kind of confusions grow larger. How do we really have the clarity of the purpose of the life and purpose of the profession?
See, purpose of life in and through whatever I want to do in my life, all actions are only to achieve happiness. I don't want to do anything that will cause misery and pain to me. So Vedanta says Paramananda Prapti and Atyantika Dukha Nivritti is the main purpose, which will come through evolving, through evolution, where I learn to rise above my ego, then I will realize the absolute happiness. Now, purpose of my profession is a specific purpose where I have to give a certain service, I have to earn certain money, I have to provide a certain type of, the service is leading to a certain type of a result or a certain type of a standard in the society. Now, that is the purpose of work, which if I do it to the best of my abilities will help me to achieve the purpose of life also, because through this work is what I am going to evolve.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Through the challenges I meet with grit and determination, I'm going to be able to evolve and feel the job satisfaction, feel that I've contributed, express my potential, experience various things in this journey, and that will make me happy. And also, finally, it is a journey of rising above my ego, because in and through the work, I will get a lot of experiences which will fine tune me, which will, the rough edges that I have, it will get smoothened. It will be humbling experiences also that will come along. So Gita way is that through the work, you evolve.
Right.
You don't have to run away from the work to evolve. So purpose of life is to evolve, to realize happiness. And through my work, I can achieve that.
Lovely. One participant, Pradipta Sahu, says Gita says a lot on mind control, inculcating good habit. Instead of reading Gita and internalizing the teachings therein, why is there a great inclination to go through a large number of self-help books written by Western writers, mind coaches on the very same subjects? Have they made efforts to? Yeah, so he's just trying to appreciate Bhagavad Gita, and definitely Gurudev has always said it's a manual of life, and there is not any subject on which Bhagavad Gita cannot guide us.
So
So
he has a question. Have they made efforts to make the subject better, appealing and presentable? Yes, they have made that effort. There is no doubt. And that is what, like Mukherjee said, Gurudev also tried to make it relevant to us. Somewhere I also feel that, yes, no doubt self-help books are more pertinent in terms of directly handling certain issues, and the vocabulary in that is such that it is appealing to us. But also it is that at a certain level self-help books are able to handle. So the symptoms, the effects, and the the causes which are at a surface level, some of the self-help books will definitely be able to help. And when we go into the deeper analysis of those, if we really want a cure, then Gita etc. provides the deeper cure, and not many people want the deeper cure. They want a certain symptomatic treatment. And which is why self-help books are popular. And yes, there's nothing wrong by itself. Let them be popular. Whichever way people are getting benefited is fine. As and when they are ready, they will seek for the deeper cure, and they will come in some ways to the Gita. And yes, we must also make, and there are people who are today also making that effort to make the Gita practically applicable in the daily life, use the terms and terminologies which are appealing to people, and simplify it. Gita's philosophy is very deep, and that requires a certain, if you read the whole Gita, it requires a certain level of maturity for it. But there are attempts being made to simplify that also, so that different age groups are able to appreciate and apply the Gita.
Yeah, when Purvi says that lots of updations comes in this CA practice, to keep updated brings stress. If we don't do, becomes difficult to survive in this competition.
Yes, I agree. So a lot of knowledge, one has to keep getting updated, and the changes they keep bringing, more changes come, that can create a certain amount of stress, there is no doubt. But that's why then we need to release that stress. It is not possible sometimes that stress will never come in life. Gita doesn't say that you should never be stressed in life. Yes, sometimes these things can be stressful, and so one will go through that, because that's unavoidable aspect. If the changes are frequent and one has to keep on updating and remember, or ensure that one is in tune with whatever are the new updations, it can be stressful. But that's why the methods are required to release that stress. Like how it is said, that if this bottle, I hold it for some time, this is only some 500 ml, but if I hold it for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, it will seem very, very heavy. I won't be able to hold it. The weight remains the same, but I'm still feeling very heavy because I'm holding it in my head. So I need to put it down. Same way, the stress can happen because of all these challenges of continuous updations, then I need to do things to release, maybe exercise, maybe pranayama, maybe devotional practices, meditation, play a sport, hobby, so many things to unwind, to release. And in that the Gita says, find sattvic ways of unwinding. People take drinks, alcohol, and then they try to drown themselves in that. That is tamasic way of unwinding. That will not help. That will create more stress for the body. So Gita says, find sattvic ways of unwinding and entertainment by which you can release this stress.
Yeah. Priyanka Namala is one lady. She has two questions. One is how to inner align things, and the other one is how to convey things to other person without getting them hurt.
So how to inner align the things is, the formula is T20. Every day, 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of study, 1 hour. If you can't give on a daily basis 1 hour, spread it over the week. 5 days a week exercise, 4 days a week meditation, 3 days a week, study. Balance it out. Inner alignment on a daily basis, if I'm able to do 20 minutes, exercise is for the body, meditation is for the mind, study is for intellect, broadly. Each one will affect the rest also. But if I'm able to do this, the inner alignment will happen, and be very clear about what is your purpose. Why do I have to align this body, mind, intellect? Because what do I want to achieve? My purpose in life must be clear to me. If I'm here to achieve XYZ, goal of life, as Gurudev would say, and goals in life. What are my immediate goals in life, and what is my goal of life, or what is my purpose of life? For that, I am preparing myself and I am moving towards that. If that purpose is clear and I align the BMI with the daily practice, that is a way to achieve it, the inner alignment. Otherwise, the directionlessness is there. I'm just meeting immediate goals. I don't know the big picture. How to tell something to people without hurting them? See, intent only we can keep it clear, and communication we can keep it clear. If my intent is not to hurt, first. Second, in communication, I use words which are unagitating. In the Gita, Bhagavan says, Anudvegakaram Vakyam, Satyam Priyahitam Chayat. So we speak words which are unagitating, speak the truth, speak politely, and speak for the benefit. So the intent is to be clear. It is not to hurt. But if it is something unpleasant, then I have to put that extra effort to say assertively, but in a non-provocative way, non-insulting way, in a way it is presented so that people get the message that this is about the issue, not about you. So how people say, na, criticize the performance, encourage the performer. If I remember this, then I will be, it is my effort. I have to put that effort. I can't say that I am just blunt, Swamiji, I call a spade a spade. Now if the other person doesn't like it, it's their problem. Gita says it is our responsibility. We have to speak the truth, speak it politely, speak it for the benefit. Now that I have to cultivate the right intent and speak. After that, if somebody is still hurt, then yes, then that is their challenge. And if I can do something to, make it clear that that is not my intent to hurt, then that I can do. But before that, I should do all this. My intent should be clear, my expression should be clear.
Yeah. Just to conclude, Swamiji, so that T20 is one of the beautiful practice that I must try to practice regularly. And along with that, we should gradually have the right kind of place where I try to learn more and put them in practice is the way. Ashita, from my side, there is nothing. One more question has come. This will be the last question. What is the final level of meditation to achieve moksha? Swamiji.
Final level of meditation is to contemplate on the self or surrender to Bhagavan directly, where the ego is completely sublimated, which we call as samadhi avastha. In samadhi, the ego is not there. So the meditator meditated and the act of meditating is not there. This, what we call as the triputi, that is dissolved. Only the supreme truth remains. So in bhakti, it is complete surrender. And in Jnana, it is complete contemplation that I say I am not the BMI, I am infinite consciousness. And in that, one loses all false sense of identification. That's the final state. And the state of mukti is the state of illumination.
Right. Okay, so Shita, from our side, we are through. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity, and Pranam Swamiji. It was definitely very enlightening for a lot of people and insightful, and vote of thanks from the.
Thank you once again to the Chamber of Tax Consultants and the BCAS for this wonderful opportunity. Enjoyed reflecting, and thank you, Mukesh Bhai, for the beautiful moderation.
Thank you, Pranam
Thank you and
Swamiji.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you,
Swamiji,
Swamiji,
pranam.
for
Thank
such
you,
an insightful session. I request Sagar Mehta for a formal vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It has been such an honor to be part of this such a wonderful and enlightful session. On behalf of CTC and BCAS, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji, and also to Mukeshji, who spared their time from their busy schedule to grace this occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear Swamiji's thoughts, and I'm very sure that this will surely help all of us in future. Finally, I would also like to thank everyone, each and every participants who were present here. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
I just want to invite all of you. We have a center in DN Nagar in Andheri West. Mukesh Bhai has come there many times. So if any of you are around here, you want to come, please do come.